Hi. I'm sitting here once again waiting for them to call me in for my appointment. Today is extremely stressful for me. After Friday that I was so traumatized, I really prayed to God that they give me the extra help I need today to get through it. Say a little prayer for me. I'm sitting here watching the fish and praying for peace and for the ability to make it through. So I will see you on the other side. Pray, pray, pray for me. There they go. A wonderful, beautiful fish. It's so serene. I love it. There's the one that needs the dentist on top. The chubby one, right at the top. I'm going to see, after the thing is over, if I can get you a shot of his teeth. It's amazing. I never saw that before. See you soon. What's the best thing I can say about today? I survived treatment day number 13. It was really strange because I made it through yesterday better than I had expected, because the whole weekend was stress-filled for me just at the thought of what happened on Friday and when they didn't respond to me. It was so bad that today, when it came time to get ready, and I did everything I needed to, I did it early so that I wouldn't be stressed with all the things I had to get done. I didn't even blow dry my hair. I just let it naturally air dry. So it looks horrific, but it is what it is. I was so stressed, I did not know if I could make it through today's treatment. I was afraid that I would interrupt the treatment and not go back. It was that bad. I took my blood pressure. A few times I was feeling highly agitated, which is what happens to me when when my pressure goes up. So I finally made the decision to take an extra one of my blood pressure pills, because the last thing I wanted was to have my blood pressure go through the roof while I was on the table. Unfortunately, there was a problem today with traffic, and I'm always amazed by the stupidity of the way government runs things very often. In their infinite wisdom, they decided to close 2 lanes of a major highway crossing from east to west in the middle of the day after a holiday weekend. How smart. So what is typically a 10-minute ride was about a half-hour ride today. So adding to the stress of could I face this was the stress of will I get there in time? I did ultimately, but I was much closer in time to it, so I asked Linda to drop me off in front of the building and to go park afterwards because I couldn't wait for her. And I went downstairs. To sign in. I passed the front desk, and there is that guy. I don't know if I mentioned this to you on Friday. When I went for my treatment, I was sitting in the room, that waiting area, waiting for them to call me, and this guy was hacking. He had a hacking cough. He sounded like a walrus. It was the worst cough I'd heard in years. And I thought, what the heck? Why would somebody be allowed to come to work, mouth and nose weren't covered, just sat there at the front desk greeting the patients as they came in, and just logging them in for their appointment? So I go in today, and sure enough, he's there. And sure enough, he's hacking. Didn't sound quite as barky today as it did on Friday, but I'm scared. I cannot take vitamin C now to fend anything off, and I can't afford to get sick. I was scared. So my issue with the whole thing was, please God, let me get out of here. And they wound up calling me. Actually, Linda had just come downstairs when they called me in. So I walked in, and Linda had told me not to say anything to them about having not responded to me on Friday. And I knew I couldn't do that because I couldn't face today unless I knew that they could hear me and they could respond to me and they could do something for me if I needed them. I needed to know that. So I told the young man who brought me in, he's a very sweet young guy, and he said to me, how are you feeling today? And I said, well, I'm really not in a lot of pain, except the pain from where I have my diaper rash thing. I said, but I'm terrified, and tears came to my eyes. I almost cried because I was so stressed by it, and I said, this is my worst nightmare come true, that I need you, that I call out to somebody and nobody responds. I'm just left there to my own devices. He promised me that they could. He told me they heard every single time I spoke to them. I find it hard to believe because if that's true, they totally ignored me, which is even worse, but I suspect they did not hear every single time. In any case, I said, you need to do me a favor. You need to communicate with me more today. Let me know exactly where you are in this, and let's take it from there. The typical guy who seems to be at the center of doing this, I saw he was there, but he was apparently on his way to lunch when they took me, and that was not good. It was really not good. So I had one guy that I've only met once, and this other young man, and I noticed when the other guy had done it the other day that it took a lot longer after the x-rays to start treatment. A lot longer. Well, today it took an extraordinarily long time, and what he kept saying to me was, relax your pelvis. You're tightening up your muscles and you need to relax your pelvis. How? Can somebody tell me how? When you are so stressed about something, and I'm saying, okay, pelvis, relax. Guess what? It didn't listen. So there I was, starting to tense up. I could feel the problem I was about to have. It was crystal clear it was coming, and it was not good. It took a long time to get started. They had to retake the x-rays a couple of times because they said I tensed my pelvis. What the other guys do is they make adjustments on the table to rotate my hip slightly or whatever they need to do to get the angle that they need. They didn't do it. They were counting on me to relax muscles that I had zero control over. So it took quite a while to get the thing done, and then I had to meet with the doctor afterwards. So I, on the plus side, survived treatment number 13. I am now officially more than half finished. And I said to the radiation oncologist today, when he said, you're more than half done. And I said, yeah. I said, but I still have 3 weeks to go. And he said, well, you really have 2 weeks and a few days. Okay. I have to get through the rest of this week, 3 more days this week. Then I have to get through a full week next week. And then I have to get through, I think, 4 more days after that. I know I'm closer to the end by an inch than I am to the beginning. The symptoms are starting to really not be wonderful and create some issues for me. I feel swollen down there, front and back, and it's very uncomfortable. So they told me what to do, and at night it really is bad. It was kind of hard to sleep last night. They tell me that it will pass, that it will last possibly through the rest of the treatment, and the doctor said because of where the tumor is and the way we have to hit it, he said it's a very sensitive area there. I said, I know. So, here we are. I'm going to have to just take it one day at a time and pray that I get to the other end of it, not sick as a dog from someone who was thoughtless enough to come to work, or to come to work and not at least wear a mask so that he didn't infect the people around. I'm praying. So a new thing to add to the prayers, that I stay healthy enough to finish the damn treatment and to move on to the next phase of this, which doesn't promise to be glorious, but it's something. They did say it'll take a full 2 weeks after the irradiation is finished for the symptoms to start to feel better, and I'm prepared for that. So in essence, we're talking about another 5 weeks, and hopefully at that point I should start to feel better. Knowing that it's finite, I can deal with it. On that note, I'm here. I survived. I'm back with you. I'll get you tomorrow. Take care. Hope the rest of your day is great. And one of these days, I promise you a really upbeat video. Take care.